Messi is officially a PSG player. Barcelona reject Arthur return. Spurs and Arsenal go head to head. There's a transfer roundup and today's great debate all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host, Mark Froelich. You are the One Footballers and this is the Daily News. So the first story, and yes, you know exactly what it is. It's the transfer saga that's lasted about 4 days or so. But Lionel Messi is officially a PSG player. Can you believe it? The only way that this looks right in my mind, or at least looks cool, is because PSG's home kit is really, really nice and Messi looks good in it. But anyway, the new number 30, that's right, going back to his roots at Barcelona, the number 30 will be joining up with new signings Hakimi, Ramos, Wijnaldum, Gigi, Donnarumma, and of course up front with Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, and it's just not fair. The rest of Europe better start getting worried because this is a ridiculous trio. I always remember when they played together at Barcelona, Neymar and Messi would have really short passes, quick movement before releasing another player. Imagine this, but instead of releasing a fine pass to someone where it needs to be inch perfect because they may not be the quickest, you're passing it through to Kylian Mbappe where any overhit pass, which Messi doesn't really do, is easily going to be picked up because Mbappe is ridiculously fast. Like, their attacking trio and their dynamic is going to be insane to watch this season. So insane that now their home game against Strasbourg at the weekend, the tickets are reselling for about 1,500 euros a pop. That is the effect that Lionel Messi is having. Anyway, he signed a 2-year deal at the club with the option to extend for a further year and will be making 35 million euros after tax, which is an extraordinary amount of money. But for a 34-year-old, you probably think it's even more ridiculous. Having said that, it is Lionel Messi. Did I mention that? He's worth all the money because he's absolutely insane. Barcelona, of course, left reeling from this, but if you're wondering how PSG are going to afford this transfer and the other insane wages they've pulled out this summer, well, they're looking to sell quite a few players. The likes of Idrissa Gueye, Ander Herrera and Mauro Icardi are apparently all on the transfer list as they look to balance the books somewhat. Moving on though, and to Lionel Messi's former club, Barcelona, who are currently in talks with Juventus about sending Miralem Pjanic back to the Italian club, but they have flat out rejected that Arthur could be moving in the opposite direction. Now, I know this deal sounds familiar to you because it's what happened last summer when Arthur and Pjanic actually swapped in the opposite direction. Anyway, the same thing will not be happening this summer because the reason Barcelona are getting rid of Pjanic is they don't see him in the first team. He's getting into his early 30s, and on top of all of this, they're paying quite a lot of money per week for him. And as we saw with the Lionel Messi saga, they need to reduce their wage bill. So getting rid of Pjanic is fine, but obviously not if they get Arthur in the return because they'll have to pay his wages. And considering he's about 10 years younger, maybe 7 years younger, this is going to be a lot of money. So they don't want Arthur back, but Juventus don't want to sign Pjanic without getting rid of a midfielder first. It's all very complicated, but Barcelona need players in through the outdoor, definitely not through the indoor. But on top of all of this, I know they didn't want to lose Messi, but I think, like Joan Laporta said, this could be a new era for Barcelona. You know, with Messi through the outdoor, with getting rid of Pjanic, there's talks that Antoine Griezmann could leave. Gerard Piqué's leaving the end of his deal, as is Jordi Alba. Maybe Barcelona are going to start blooding through some more youngsters and we'll see a La Masia class come through, the likes we haven't seen in over a decade. That group of Messi, Busquets, Iniesta, Xavi, just ridiculous. And they literally conquered world football and today are probably one of the best club sides ever. So if Barcelona can see this as an opportunity to get back to that, well, maybe there is hope for the future for Barcelona fans around the world. Next up though, and to Tottenham and Arsenal, who are used to going head-to-head on the pitch, but now could be going head-to-head in the transfer market over two midfielders from the Bundesliga. The first is Gladbach's Dennis Zakaria, who was actually on Arsenal's list for quite some time when it looked like Granit Xhaka was going to be leaving the club. Now, he's going to be staying at the club, so maybe Tottenham can swoop in for the Swiss midfielder. He's going to cost a fair bit of money, probably more than the other midfield target in Corentin Tolisso. He's had not so many good years at Bayern Munich, having been dogged with injury, but is still a quality midfielder. The fact that Spurs and Arsenal could attract either of them says a lot about how they plan to structure not only their wages, but give them a certain playing time as well. Both teams could do with another good creative midfielder. Both Zakaria with his box-to-box energy and Tolisso with his all-round midfield play could really tick these boxes. The reason that Bayern Munich could be willing to sell Tolisso is that they could bring in Marcel Sabitzer. He's only got 1 year left at Leipzig and so could go for a rather reasonable price and join Julian Nagelsmann, who was of course his manager last season but is now the manager at Bayern Munich. So next up we come to our transfer window wrap, brought to you by our friends at cryptocurrency trading platform Bybit. So first up, and Manchester United have no intention of selling Anthony Martial, who's been linked to Inter Milan in the last few days. Everton have made a bid for Antwerp's Portuguese right back Aurelio Antonio Buta. Romelu Lukaku, and the latest on him is that he's still not a Chelsea player, but it looks like it could be done within the next day or so, as Chelsea actually prepare for their UEFA Super Cup clash against Villarreal. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory for Thomas Tuchel's side. And lastly but not least, Christian Eriksen is closing in on a move back to Ajax. Because of the fitted heart implant that he's had put in after what happened at Euro 2020, it means that legally, according to Serie A rules, he's no longer allowed to play in Italy, but he can play in the Eredivisie in the Netherlands, as soon-to-be Ajax teammate Daley Blind also plays with one. Finally then, we come to this week's great debate where the One Football Newsroom posed a question to all of you guys in the comments section below. Of course, you can find my and their answers in the relevant article in the One Football app, but for the comments, we want to know which player should have been a one-club man. We all thought it was going to be Lionel Messi, but no longer. So my answer is Andres Iniesta. Of course, we actually had quite a few players to choose from when it came to Lionel Messi's ex-teammates, including the likes of Xavi as well. But for me, Iniesta, such a magical, mysterious player, could have called it quits age 34 when he left the Nou Camp back 2018. He would have left behind a one-club legacy that would barely be matched by any other player, certainly with the way that football is going these days. But he didn't. He decided to move to Japan, and now 3 years later with Vissel Kobe, he's still turning defences inside out. Nothing wrong with moving to Japan. I just think it would have been really cool to see him be a one-club man at Barcelona, having come through the academy and then all the way into the first team, playing over 650 games and collecting 30 titles. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and check out everything else we got going on OneFootball. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.